1, 2, 3, action. Okay, what is up guys? Found here with Za once again, and we have Joel once again, and this is Joel's second bike, the Ducati 999. The base model he told me.
Yeah, that's the base model.
Because there's a, from what you said, there's a
S, the 999S, and then the 999R. The 999R is only 500 in the world.
500 in
pieces,
the world?
Yeah, 500 pieces in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this is considered a limited edition.
Not this bike per se.
The S.
The R.
The R.
How about the S? What is
The S is no, that I don't know. Okay, but the S comes with Olin suspension, reworked engine, so it makes about 12 horsepower more.
So this Ducati is an old Ducati, right?
2004 model.
2004 model.
Wow.
They ran this from 2002 to 2006 or 7.
And I have to say the design is very timeless.
Yes.
It looks beautiful, it looks dated.
It still have the aggressiveness.
Yes, and we can see how Ducatis have evolved to today.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
So before Joel tells the story about his Ducati 999, we're gonna give 999 or 999.
Whichever way you want to call it.
Because that time somebody wasn't happy, I see R15, R15.
Oh yeah, what's that video? I remember that video.
Okay, so we're gonna give a bit of introduction about it.
In production for 3 years from 2003 to 2006, the Ducati 999 or 999 is a high-performance race-oriented sports bike that is known for its controversial styling when it was first released. Engine is a 999cc liquid-cooled 4-stroke 90-degree V-twin DOHC, 4 asprodromic valves per cylinder with fuel injection and a 6-speed manual transmission. Given the bike's age and prestige when it was first launched, the Ducati 999 is an extremely rare sight here in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joel, I understand you own this for 1 week already.
Yes.
And we definitely cannot get much information from yourself because you only own this for 1 week. But maybe you can get the previous owner's testimonial and experience on it lah. But first we're gonna ask you how much you bought the Ducati 999 for?
Okay. This one, it left 4 years, 2024. I bought it for 11,000.
Wow. 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000.
That's
This is notable to say that when it was my 2B days, when I first saw this in one of the workshops, this was the bike I was looking for, but finally in the Carousel market, somebody listed this for sale, and I
so
wanted it.
this is your dream, one of your dream bikes, right?
Yeah.
It's just like why a person own a RVF 400, you know?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Despite it being a relic.
The previous owner I got from, he is an expat. He's only stayed here for 1 year, so he owned the bike for 1 year. No issues with the bike. It starts every time on the first try. He changed whatever that needs to be changed really. So, and then the owner before that had 6 or 7 bikes. So this was one of his bike, and the reason why he sold the bike was all the other bikes were regular shift, and this bike was GP shift. So
GP shift? What do you mean by GP shift?
Meaning it's reverse. So to up gear is to press down, and to down gear is to press up. So he was confused every time he ride it. He's not used to it. So So the bike.
Never fly or what, you know?
So this one is like the Kapchai lah. Kapchai also same. You press down.
Hey, you don't insult all the Ducati owners, no. It's not Kapchai, no. Compared to other sports bike that you have ridden, how is the handling on Ducati 999?
This 999 has no electronics, no traction control, no ABS. So I can tell you from 1 week of riding it, it's very raw. It's very... You feel the road, everything through the pegs, everything through the handlebars. The power is okay. It's not as fast as a modern sports bike for sure. But you need to watch the way you throttle because there's no traction control to save you.
I see.
So you need to be careful with that. But other than that, the feeling is it's just very raw. It's because modern sports bike, they control everything, so it feels very damped.
So which means you can actually squeeze out as much power you want from this.
You can, but you gotta be careful. You can, but you gotta be careful because it's still. I mean, you don't want the rear to slip and then you high side.
True. Yeah, I think that's why bikes nowadays they are electronically controlled to ensure the safety of the rider.
Correct.
But this is
even though it's a 999cc, it makes about the same power as an R6.
Oh, really?
So not a lot of power, but torque, of course, a lot more lah. Twice the torque of an R6. But
is it heavy?
It's 199 kilos dry. I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
199
kilos dry, I think, without fuel. It is still quite heavy when it's stationary, but when you're moving, I think it's alright.
I see. So, how to say, in low speeds, it's heavy, but when you are on a highway,
is much better. And having said that, talking about low speeds, this bike does not like to be in low speeds, because you know that feeling when you let's say on traffic light, you're on third gear or fourth gear, right? Then you move over, then got the knocking sound, right? So if you're on the first gear on this bike and you're not accelerating high enough or moving fast enough, there's this like a bit of like a knocking, juttering noise, of the engine.
It vibrates a lot when in slow speeds.
More like juttering. Like it wants you to accelerate a bit more so that it will smoothen out.
I'm sure, like many other Ducatis, this one also has a dry clutch to it. Because when you came just now, the
Sound.
signature
Dry clutch
noise. I know this is a sound of a dry clutch. So compare the dry clutch to a wet clutch. I mean, from your experience, how do you compare its performance in gear changing?
I would say a wet clutch is easier to live with. Dry clutch, if let's say you half clutch going up the slope and then you are not accelerating enough, you will feel it feels a bit weird. It feels like there's something rubbing in the clutch. I don't know how to tell you, it's a bit weird. You start to hear a lot of rubbing noise coming from the dry clutch.
I see.
And but of course dry clutch has its advantage, is better for acceleration and all that lah. But you'll wear out faster lah. Yeah, but I think wet clutch is easier to live with.
This one you already bought it for 1 week. So there is no maintenance yet to be done.
Not yet, yeah.
So how many bottles of engine oil do you need? How many spark plugs?
In the servicing, you reckon from the previous owner's experience or from what you know?
Definitely won't be cheap for a bike like this. Parts will be hard to come by. So if anybody considering to buy an older bike, or any of your viewers consider buying an older Ducati or even a Honda or anything, you need to take note that parts will be hard to come by.
Yes.
Parts will be expensive because they're not mass produced. Yeah, but generally I think the Ducati, to be honest, I really don't know how many bottles of oil. Because I haven't sent for the first servicing yet. But I heard the parts will be quite expensive lah. So it's not a very good daily rider. Yeah, it won't make a lot of sense to ride it every day.
So more like a weekend or joyride.
It's nice to go drink coffee for breakfast and then look at your bike.
So it's safe to say you bring this bike to a Starbucks.
No lah. No. We didn't. I don't bring it to Starbucks. Just this morning breakfast we went to North Bridge Road, one of the old coffee shops. We just parked outside, lim kopi, and just look at it. That's it.
Isn't it the same thing, bro? You like bringing?
But Starbucks is atas coffee. Different lah. We Singaporean must drink lim kopi, must drink coffee shop coffee.
Okay, I'm intrigued. This looks like a single seater, but is it a single seater?
Okay, so this actually there's two variants for the 999. I believe there's a monoposto and a biposto. It's an Italian word for single seater and mono is one lah. So this is a biposto.
I don't speak Italian.
I just figured that out when I Googled. So actually this is a biposto model. By right, it's supposed to come with 2 seats. But I think one of the previous owners changed out the entire half of the subframe here. You just unscrew.
Okay.
There's somebody selling on Carousel for the second half with the pillion full packs for about 400.
I see.
Just for the subframe at the back. But I don't think I will pillion anyone.
This is for yourself lah. I mean your girlfriend has her own bike.
Yeah.
So
one thing I want to say, it has a very nice, very beautiful exhaust.
You know, design. Oh my gosh, Speak up about the design, man.
It's really. It was designed by some South African guy. I mean, if you do a bit googling, right? The 999 didn't sell very well when it first launched.
Oh really?
People don't like it. People don't like the looks.
At that time, the design was too radical, but now this is like wow.
It's more like a timeless design.
It's dated, man. It's
true. So, Joel, what's so special about this bike?
If it's why I choose the 999 over another maybe a 1098, I think I like the fact that the 999 is one of the last models that is handmade by Ducati compared to mass-produced. This is what I Google lah. So yeah, the 999 is one of the last handmade Ducati ever produced from their factory.
Wow. Okay.
So I think it's something nice to keep in the heritage, something nice to keep around. I love the looks of it. It looks a bit weird, the front, like an alien. But yet the body looks very timeless. It's just a very simple, very pleasing to the eye to look at. Yeah.
So you are owner number
6 or 7, I need to check the log.
Wow,
Yeah, 6
okay.
or 7. This bike is about 16 years old.
16 years old bike.
Yeah.
But then
Nice.
you see the condition.
Yeah, so the previous owners really took care of the bike. I would say the bike for this age is quite well taken care of lah.
Yeah, that's good, man. And please park it in a shelter lot.
Yeah.
So bro, we have already spoken a lot about the good things about this bike. What about the downside of this?
Hot, very hot, very hot. A lot hotter than any other Japanese bikes I've ridden. So hot is one thing. You feel the heat on your butt and your inner thigh. You will definitely
Wow.
feel it because the exhaust runs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing you need to take note. It really runs very hot. It's not very good at low speeds. Really, like going in a multi-story car park, it's very hard to fully release clutch and gear one. It's very hard. You'll be too fast. So that's one thing you need to take note of. It's hard to maneuver, not as easy to maneuver as most modern day bikes.
So what is your intention with this bike down the road?
Keep it as stock as possible, completely as stock as possible. Replace anything that's broken. Just keep it probably in the family. If I have kids, I'll pass it down to them. Now everything's going towards electric.
Yes.
So I was watching one of these movies where everybody was in the future. Everybody was driving electric cars, and there's this cop who got in the garage, and then he opened the garage, and he got his petrol motorbike. everybody was electric, and then he was just riding through the city with a petrol bike.
Oh
It was the loudest thing.
What? Shit.
There's a movie about it. I think.
I know. I've watched the movie.
But can you imagine if next time every car will be electric, then it'll be very rare to find a petrol bike.
Petrol vehicle, yeah.
Maybe down the road lah, when I'm maybe not around already, but this thing will definitely roar through the
Wait,
streets.
if I'm not mistaken, it's iRobot. Robot.
Might be.
iRobot. Because it was Will Smith.
Yeah,
he
might
was
be.
riding a petrol.
Okay, yes. I remember the
Yeah.
movie. Shit, that was so long ago, bros. Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, I have not experienced any major breakdowns. So
The previous owners' experiences, how was it? How was it with from what you know lah?
things of course do break down time to time lah. So your little things like maybe you'll need to do your valve clearances and all that. But I think it's been well maintained. Starts on the first try, even on after a few days. Yeah. Aside from that, yeah.
So do you get a lot of hit turns?
Yeah, so just now we went for
Total
breakfast.
hits,
Just now we went for breakfast.
Yeah.
The guy across the way is like, because it's really attention grabbing. This bike.
Yes,
You ride it by. It's a bit loud for some people. Yeah, but it is what it is. It's a Ducati lah. So
Yeah, it's a
loud lah.
Ducati, of course. Ducati, if not loud, is.
I mean, Ducatis in general are hit turners, but I have to say this would probably get the more attention than the current range that is out on the streets right now lah. I feel.
Yeah, and the side stand is a bit short, so the bike when on side stand it leans over quite a fair bit, so it gets a bit of getting used to. Because when you put down the side stand, the bike leans quite a lot. You
Oh
might
yeah,
think
speaking
it'll
of
drop.
lean, how is the riding like on this bike?
It's a lot more forward because you can see the pads here, right? For me, in order to get my knees up to the black color pads, I need to sit like my ass is almost against here. It's just weird because if you move any closer, your knees will be here where the engine is. So it's a bit weird. Maybe it's designed for maybe slightly shorter rider. Maybe I'm not sure, but I mean when I ride it, I try to keep the knees at the tank pad lah.
So is it comfortable for you as compared to the previous bikes that you have rode before?
If you compare to a Japanese bike is more comfortable. Okay, don't talk about the R1. The R1 is very European inspired, but if you're talking about Honda or Kawasaki or Suzuki, I think it's still more comfortable than this. Because the pegs are very high. The pegs are very high. You can see the pegs are very close to the seat.
Yeah.
So your legs are very cramped.
So it's almost like a racing pack.
Yeah.
I think it's might be a racing peg. I don't know.
But will
might be a
you
racing peg.
take this out to the track?
No.
Yeah, because you play track and you play your CBR 1000 RR on the track
No.
So this one no.
No.
Strictly for a coffee shop kind of bike
Yeah. Strictly for, I think in fact maybe only for Singapore roads. Maybe because I don't know what will happen. I don't want to be stranded across the causeway.
Okay. It's not because you scared people or
No.
whatever, you know?
No, I'm just worried I might get stranded across the causeway because you never know what will happen. Starter motor got issue or what, then
yeah
I
lah.
stranded overseas a bit.
So what other uniqueness of the Ducati 999?
Very bad electronics. No gear indicator. You don't know what gear you're on. I mean, you have to count it lah. And then no fuel gauge. The fuel light comes out only when you're on reserve.
What? Okay. So how big is the fuel tank actually?
Website says 15 liters.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a bit scary, and I don't know how far the reserve can get me. So yeah.
Throughout this interview, we have never asked about the fuel consumption because he's only 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week with the bike, right?
But the previous owner say not very good.
I see. The fuel consumption isn't that good lah.
Of course, it is what it is.
It's a gas guzzler.
Yes, it's gas
It's a Cadillac.
guzzler. Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to say this. So Joel, you know that you want to keep this for yourself. You don't intend to sell it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Definitely.
You want to pass it down. But for example, if there is another Ducati 999 or 999 out there, who would you recommend this bike for?
I would say this is more for seasoned rider. If you want to compare difficulty of riding this bike to maybe another sports bike, 1000 bike. Okay, if 10 is being the hardest and 1 is the easiest, maybe a CBR is like 4. Or Kawasaki is like 4, Suzuki like 4. This will probably be on a scale of 8 to 9. I personally feel it's about 8 to 9 because of the Singapore's mostly city riding. Okay, so it's low speed riding. You ride through Juche, you ride through Geylang, all the small roads, right? It will not be easy to release the clutch completely and ride on first gear.
I see.
Yeah. So the steering radius is very small. So when you're going to do a 3-point turn, it's more like maybe an 8-point turn kind of thing. Yeah.
8-point turn. The first time I heard that. No.
You cannot run the engine at too low RPMs. The entire cover will just start juddering. So it's like,
and also the lack of a fuel gauge.
like a fuel gauge, like a gear indicator.
So this is really meant for seasoned riders.
Yeah, I would say it's for seasoned riders. In my opinion, I wouldn't advise a person who just passed class 2 to immediately get it.
Personally, I would love to have one, but I probably put it in my house. I probably won't touch it.
For me, I would probably be like Jay Leno, you know, a whole garage of motorbikes.
Oh my god, it'd be like
Make a museum.
Yeah, my god, this will be a museum piece if I were to own this. I will never touch it. I won't dare to even ride it also.
But having said that, I think you still need to ride it once in a while because motorbikes like this, if you don't ride it, the gaskets inside will harden up, stuff like that. So you start to see oil leaks. You still need to ride it once in a while, periodically.
I see. So, Joel, thank you so much for showing us the Ducati 999.
Yeah.
Ducati riders out there, if you have anything else to comment or you want to come forward and share your bikes, do contact us on Farhan's Instagram page.
Yes.
Like and share this video to your riding kakis and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, and that's it for the video. And we'll we'll review Joel's third bike next. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Okay.